Hey, so we recently had a client that came up with this situation and they were able to make the adjustments needed. And I think that's a really cool benefit of how our software works. And so I'm going to show you what the issue was and then how to make the changes that you would want to make. So here's the situation. They had billed for some fees, and here I did a quick invoice for $160 of fees and for $57.50 of expenses. Now, they sent the invoice to the client paid the invoice, and then the client came back and said, oh, wait a minute, the contract says you can't bill for expenses, they have to be included within your fee. But the invoice has already been paid, and so I'm going to jump over here to billing where we have the invoices. And you will see that I should not be able to edit this because it's been paid. Sorry, but paid invoices aren't editable. So what are you going to do? How are we going to rectify the situation? Well, I could just stay right here and do it all from this page and edit these, but I want to show you while I'm here. You know, it's really clever that we can jump over to the invoices. So if we had multiple invoices on this project, we would see all of the invoices for it. And once we're here on invoices, we can jump from the invoices to all the income records associated with them. Now, it's not necessary that we do that, but now what I could do is edit this income, because the income is still editable, and remove the payment that was applied. You can do that a couple ways. A, you can just reduce the dollars that you applied to the invoice, or in this case, I'm just going to delete it. And now there's nothing applied. The invoice is down here as unpaid, and I'm going to choose save. I don't need to delete the actual income itself. We're going to leave it here. Now I can go back, or I'm going to go all the way to the project and show you that the income went away. Why did the income go away from here? Because it's not applied to any invoices for this project, but the invoice is still here. So now I'm going to edit this invoice, and you can see that it's just telling me it's been issued. So we're going to put a little speed bump in there to slow you down. Make sure you want to edit an issued invoice. I'm going to come over here to the expense, and I'm going to delete the expense. Now, you could just stop right there and leave the invoice, but I highly recommend you come back here and you put in a comment that says modified due to expense being billed. Something so that you know why this invoice was changed. And I need to move my little picture out of the way, hit the done button up here. There we go. And now I'll save that invoice. So now you have, actually, before I save, you have two options now. You received extra monies. So now I could adjust the fees that I billed to offset those monies, or I'm going to show you this option. That save, there we go. And now I'm going to go back over here to income. I should be on that same record that I jumped from. Oh, it switched, so now I'm going to view all records because it's no longer in the jump. And it was this one. And so again, move my little mug out of the way and do a quick edit here. And now we can see the invoice has $160, but we received $217.50. I'm just going to apply it. Now it only applied $160 because that was the balance on the invoice. And I'm going to hit save. What has happened now is there's a $57.50 credit on that client's account. And if I go back over here to invoices and I look at the detail view of this one, it's been paid. But as soon as I add an additional invoice to this project, and I should have started here, I'll just do a new invoice, and it has its number, and I don't want to do any rocket billing. I want to continue. And then I'm going to come here to the fees, manually bill this, Let's say we bill $100 on the next invoice and we hit save. First, it says that we might want to adjust the payment or the percent complete from 20 to 33% because we've now billed through 33% of the phase. I'm going to choose no thanks. I don't need to worry about that for now. But I am going to jump over to the invoice and look at the detail of this draft invoice so that we can see there's funds available. So before you ship this invoice out, you can choose to apply the funds. How much of it do you want to apply, and choose apply. So now that credit for those extra funds that you got in have been applied to your next invoice. So there's a couple of ways you could have dealt with that. You could have increased the amount of a past invoice or waited until you build this one, and when you send it to them, it's going to show the amount. Oh, this one has some tax on it, the payment, and then the balance due. And there you go. That's how you can take care of a client's overpayment. If you ever get an overpayment, well, actually, that wasn't an overpayment. They just paid the invoice, but you had overbilled, so you wanted to retroactively take that off. But if a client does overbill you, just apply the amount that needs to be applied, and then they will have a credit sitting there ready for you to apply to their next invoice. Hey, I hope you found this video helpful, and we will see you down the trail.